Just push play. That's what we're going to try to do, folks. We're going to learn how to... Oh, man, there you go. We're going to learn how to just push play on the double pump today. What does just push play mean? It means that you just go do a double pump, just like pushing the play button on your on your phone, your iPod or whatever, and then of course you're doing a double pump. It doesn't have to be a really hard thing to do. And yes, that is a dog splat. We're going to teach you how to dog splat today. That's more than a double pump. Those are splat wheels. But the goal here today is double pump. What is a double pump? It's lifting a hammer and slamming it down. It is how to get vertical on your bow on edge. We already did the plowing in, or you can go check out plowing in, or if you want to go paddle, 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 paddle into a bow stall. But the double pump is what you're going to use to get cartwheels going. It's the most powerful way to get vertical on the bow. We learned a double pump back, let's see, I learned a double pump with the X boat. You want to see what it's like in X and the Z. Back in the day, there was maybe 5 people in the world that could get vertical on the bow on the X. With some practice, and the double pump became perfected. Some of the Canadians up in Canada, Ken Whiting, Chad Hitchens, Tyler Curtis, Kevin Verrett, those guys really nailed the double pump back in the day when boats were big. I mean, they could do 25 ends in a Z. I challenge anybody to show me a video of 25 ends in a Z today, or an X for that matter. Better have some double pump skills. Well, here we're going to do it in the Mixmaster. So the amount of skill required to double pump a Mixmaster is much less than was required back in the old days, simply because the volume of the boat is less and the shapes are super slicey, not quite as long. You combine all those things and you've got a much easier to double pump boat. All right, what is a double pump and what are the basic elements? The elements, number one, it's called the double pump versus the pump, because the first part of it is, let's watch this, it is lifting, boom, did you see that? Lifting the bow. Think of it as like lifting a hammer up. Imagine you got a big old nail already stuck into the wood and you want to bang it down. Try not lifting the hammer off the nail and just pushing it in. It doesn't work very good. It's the same with the double pump. If you don't lift the hammer up, lift your bow up, which includes your legs and your feet, before you slam it down, well, it's going to take more energy. It's going to be harder, just like pushing a nail without lifting the hammer up. All right, now boom, and down it goes. So let's replay that one more time. So step one is lifting it up, lift, push. That's the double pump. So the first part of the double pump is lift. The second part, boom, pushing it down. All right. Let's fast forward. I've got just a few clips on here. This is Stephen Wright, of course. In the background there you see Clay and Nick. I don't have video of those guys doing it. What? That isn't a double pump. That's a pirouette. We'll get into that later, huh? See that smile on Stephen's face? That's because it's fun. Oh, okay. Here's a POV of a double pump. Will you see a whole lot? No, but you're going to see what you can see. Let's see if you can see enough to make it worth it. Absolutely not. It was pretty much a wasted clip. All right, let's keep going. Okay, here's a double pump in slow-mo. Who is that guy? Oh, that's me. Haha. I knew that already. Okay, in slow-mo, notice we're going to talk about paddle, boat, body, position, as well as your head. Head, paddle, boat, body. That's how I coach. Why? Because there's 4 things you can control in your boat at the same time and need to control them independently. Head, paddle, boat, and body. Head, paddle, boat, and body. Head looks at your target. I'm not looking at my target yet, but I'm about to. Okay. Head, paddle, boat, body. Head's going to look at your target. What is your target? The target is where you're going to put the end of your boat. Ooh, where's my cursor? There it is. My target is right there. Where that's the end of my boat, and that's where I'm going to put it. Okay? Body. Okay, next. Body does two things. Body stays weight over the boat. Every single time we do one of these clinics, one of these videos, I'm talking about body weight over the boat. How come? Because that's the rule. Always keep your body over the boat, otherwise you fall over or have to brace. So notice my body, it's kind of hard to tell, but my body's straight up and down. Even though my boat is on edge, my body is not leaning off to the side. And this is a very common mistake. Most people, when they go to double pump, they lean their body to the side, and then their paddle is there just to support their body weight, because if you didn't put the paddle in the water, you just fall over. Well, we're not going to do that. We're going to keep our body up, body vertical, and then drop the edge of the boat. See, there's a big difference between this. Now the body weight is being supported by the paddle instead of using the paddle to double pump. Here, your boat is on edge, your body weight's still over the boat. You're not going to fall over. So now you can use the paddle to turn the boat. Okay, paddle. There's two main parts to the paddle stroke on the double pump. One is lifting yourself up. Let's do that again. This is the lift stroke. Notice that my paddle is up by the toes. It's kind of hard to tell here, but the paddle is pretty far away from the boat there. It's not actually right next to the boat. It's a little ways away from the boat. Push, no, I'm sorry, pull down on the paddle. Pull, pull, pull. Whoa. Now what am I doing while I'm pulling with the paddle? And I'm pulling it back to behind my hips. What am I doing? I am lifting my feet up. So your bow doesn't go up automatically. Just because you do a sweep, your bow isn't going to go whoop, up. You have to think about lifting your feet up. You lift your feet up with your knees, and you lift your feet up against the top of the boat. Now, this is the tricky part. Notice my body weight's still over the boat. Another part about the body is leading the turn. I'm going to cartwheel or double pump to the right. So my body is turned over the right side of the boat. Why? Because when your body is turned to the right side of the boat, I can't do that with my hands. When your body is turned over the right side of the boat, it's already facing more or less at the bottom of the river. It means your body doesn't have to rotate when you're doing the double pump. Only your feet have to. All right, so you pulled up. Now watch the wrist switch from using the power face to the back blade. Right here, one, there it goes, switch, 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 boom, right there. Now notice, still spotting my target, but the back face of the paddle blade is now down in the water, right there. Back face is down in the water, and notice it's pretty far away from the boat. That allows you to not only use it to push that bow down and get the boat vertical, but it also acts as a brace. It's far enough away from the boat that even if your weight isn't perfectly over the boat, you're probably not going to flip over. All right, I'm going to go super slow to watch it go through, and then we're going to do it full speed. Then we're going to talk about the edge of the boat. We didn't talk about the edge of the boat. All right, this is the whole thing. Ready, and it's lift, switch, paddle, push with your feet. Boom. Okay. Now let's talk about the edge of the boat, because this is pretty critical here. You want to get a good double pump. The edge means slice, slice, slice versus push, push, push. It's kind of critical. What does that mean? You want to slice the boat through on edge, just like a knife. You want to slice you want your boat to rotate at the knife's edge. You don't want to be pushing the flat part of the boat through the water. So let's get to edge. Go forward, lift. Now notice Notice the edge that I'm lifting and the edge that I'm pushing down are very similar. What am I saying? I'm saying that when you're double pump, you want to lift a certain edge and you want to hold that edge. So if you're lifting, or if you're dropping this much edge, I can't do it like that. Let's try my phone. If you're going to drop this much edge, that's how you're going to hold it. You want to slice the boat through at the same angle Now the reason for that is you want to rotate on this axis so that it's slicing the boat through. You do not want to do this and push the boat any part of the flat, the hull, or the deck through the water because the water resistance is too great. How do you do that? Let's go back. You lift up. Now notice I've got about a 45, 50 degree angle. Now on the way down, 45, 50 degree angle. Boom. If you look at that, how the boat's going through the water, there's not a whole lot of splash, and there's not a lot of splash because I'm slicing at the right angle. If you drop too much edge, you're going to go really vertical, and it's going to be really hard to balance your first time. If you don't drop enough edge, you're just going to go really flat. 45 is a great angle to start with because if you look right here, my body weight is still over the boat, and I'm not past vertical. I'm actually pretty comfortable at that position, meaning it's a very stable position, 45 degrees. 60 degrees would be maximum for stable position. If you want to go to 45 degrees, that means you drop 45 degrees of edge. 45 degrees of edge. If you want to go to 60 degrees, you drop 60 degrees of edge. 45, 60. 45 is your easiest cartwheel when you're learning. 60 degrees, you're more likely to fall over. All right, let's watch, go through. Oh, he's just cartwheeling. I'm still maintaining the same angle, about 45 degrees. We're back to dog splats. Let's take a quick mental break, and let's watch Stephen Wright succumb to peer pressure. I was like, hey, Stephen, I'll video if you can demonstrate how to splat your dog. That dog's name is Puppy, and that's Stephen's dog. He splats the dog. And then he splat wheels the dog, and then he splat wheels the rock. Very cool. What do you think of that? Now, if you want to splat wheel a dog, you're going to need to learn to double pump. All right, let's do a review, and then you're just going to have to watch the video over and over if you didn't get it the first time. Double pump, lift, push. From the double pump, you can do really cool pirouettes. Oh, yeah. Now we're going to do POV. Smile. Yes, Stephen likes it. POV, push. There you go. Now slow-mo. Lift, switchblade, push. Weight over the boat. Troubleshooting. Okay, you're trying to double pump and you keep tipping over and falling on your head. I know why you're doing that. I know you don't know why you're doing that, so I'll tell you. You're doing that because you are not keeping your weight over the boat. You're putting your weight over to the side, and your body weight's pulling you down, and your boat's pirouetting upside down. So if you're falling over, it's because your weight's off to the side, and you're pirouetting around your body, and you're falling on your head. It's a very common thing. I see it all the time, and that's what you're doing. Is there any other reason you could possibly be tipping over? No. So don't worry about it. That's what you're doing. So practice keeping, when you drop your edge, here we go, when you drop your, where am I? When you drop your edge, weight stays vertical over the boat. Don't lean it to the side. If you lean it over to the side, you're going to pirouette around, land on your head. Troubleshooting number one. Troubleshooting number two. When you try to drive the boat down right here, boom, what am I doing? Am I throwing my weight forward while I'm trying to drive the boat down? No. Why not? Because if you're to throw the weight forward, you're actually taking weight off of your knees. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Instead, what I'm doing is I'm keeping my body still. I'm actually pushing down with my feet, and my lower back muscles are engaged, not my stomach muscles right here. My stomach muscles are engaged for twisting the boat, but they're not pulling my weight forward. They're actually pushing down and leaning back. Watch. Whoa, look at that. See my body? It's hard to tell, but my body actually, and my head was moving upwards a little bit, not down. Why? It's pushed down on the feet. Most people, their first time when they're trying to double pump, right when you're doing the back sweep, you're leaning forward, and that doesn't work either. Sorry. With the Mixmaster, you can get away with it, probably because it's so low volume. But generally speaking, And if you don't have a mix master, you got something that's higher volume or older school, whatever, it's not going to work. That is not a double pump. However, this is boom. Now, why don't you double pump when you're cartwheeling? Because the hammer's already in the air and the boat's already dropping. So a cartwheel, once you get it going, that takes less energy than a double pump because you've got the rotation going already. Pretty cool. Anything else you need to know about the double pump? No, not that I can think of. This is probably the single most important slicey boat mix master skill to learn. So replay this on slow-mo. Go through the troubleshooting stuff. Remember, left switch paddle, push. Paddle stays away from the boat. Push down on your feet, weight over the boat, and you'll be double pumping. Once you can double pump, I got a lot of really cool tricks to teach you. It's going to be awesome. Signing off. I got to hit the stop button. Stop recording. See ya.